Here we are. Is it functioning properly? I what? Let me see. What? I think okay. I think internet is having some. I don't think so. Tiny issues, because it is completely flipping all over the place. But at the same time, I think the biggest problem right now is my my PC. I think I don't know why it is performing so badly. But let me see. Do we have audio at the very least? Can I check myself? Can I hear how is everything? Can I do that? PC, hello? What the fuck? Why I was stuck on the 9 minutes or at the 9 minute mark of this. I noticed that. But okay, there it is. We should supposedly have audio. So let us for real start now. Para pa 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 pa. Para pa. Para pa 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 pa. Para pa 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 pa. Para pa 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 pa. Here we are. Amazing. We're so great. Here we are. It has been a long time since our last chance over here. It has been more than 24 hours since the last stream. Almost more than a whole day, I think. So, very weird to notice that we didn't break the streak so far. I think, I hope, I pray, I want. But well, we did it anyways, and here we are to keep striving and to keep progressing towards our goal, that is to probably and to possibly and to the best of our efforts try to make things work. Because if we do not try to make them work, who will for us, as they would like to say. But well, as always, here we are, everybody. Welcome every single one. Here we are reunited in this very fine occasion to talk about a lot of things, to ponder, to be present, to let ourselves be, let's say. And as always, it is a pleasure in this particular occasion to have first and foremost the bot who today seems to be working, Ronspoon, who got the first comment, and internet. Okay, my internet who is also fighting me almost because I have already lost like 12% of the stream so far with the lag. Amazing. And Vita, who is also here, who sent a dancing car emote. Hello. Arkia, who redeemed a Bob, and myself for finally streaming. I was very close to not even streaming today. I was for real going to skip this day after all, but I thought about it and I analyzed my possibilities and I said, we need to keep going. It isn't time to take a break yet. We need to keep this function going. We need everything to be in place. And we need even more to stream. We need to discuss things. We need to come back to here. We need to keep working. We need to earn more progress. Why? The question is, and the response is because it is needed. Because it is almost a good thing. It is, in a sense, a very beneficial thing, to come here to think. But well, before really starting with anything, I wanted to first and foremost to say, if everything goes well, if everything goes well, meaning my internet doesn't decide to kill me in this particular day, because it had been already lagging for not so short amounts of time that I could not think it is going to malfunction out of nowhere. So if it doesn't decide to kill me, we will watch a movie, and we are going to watch The Fifth Element, because I never saw it. So we are going to watch that movie. If everything works properly, and if I am able to end this stream in particular in an orderly manner. So, with that said, let me also write it down. Um, let me. If everything. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Give me a second. Exclamation mark Discord. There it is. Let me pin this. Yes, pin on duration after end of a stream. There it is. Amazing. There we have it. If everything works properly, we are going to watch that movie. Yeah, okay. Basically that. I hope. I hope at the very least I can do my stream properly, because I didn't see that I was having lag problems, but at the same time, I also wasn't really having any of those for real. It was more like my PC decided, not decided, got pushed a little bit too much in the sense of out of nowhere having to handle streaming, watching another stream, watching my own stream, um, applying all the filters that I have that somehow consume like 10% of RAM or something like that. It is amazing to see how. I don't know if it is badly optimized or goodly optimized it is, because I guess converting audio as soon as it gets transferred into the PC itself isn't such an easy task. But yeah, basically there are a lot of things working to get my PC to lag out of nowhere. But yeah, aside from that, we are very fun. Also, I have an apple with me in this particular occasion. I have a beautiful apple, which I am going to enjoy in just a second, because I don't know, we aren't really going for anything particular tonight. I didn't even check my. Let me see, what was it that I had on my schedule for tonight? I didn't. Okay, we had a list. I didn't even feel like doing a list. Not because, in particular, I don't think I want to do a list. It is rather. Yeah, I said it on the Discord. I had to. I didn't have. I decided to go out yesterday, and because of that, I was fucking tired, and I am still tired, so I can't mentally function to the degree to which I can say that I am going to properly give anything at all to others. So basically that we are expecting, and we are analyzing the possibility of seeing something after this, because it is the easiest way for me to deactivate my brain. But aside from that, we have been really fine. We have been going pretty well. Mm, Overall, in the sense of this wonderful potato garden, everything has been going okay at at minimum and incredibly well at best. So yeah, in that sense, we're really really well. I am not that much worried about things, mostly because, as I was trying to say, or as I was trying to convey, I see everything working properly. So I do not think there is really anything that I could worry about in the actual moment that I haven't already started to worry about, so to speak. I think there are not that many things that I mean, yeah, probably it comes mostly from my own conceitedness, yes, but at the same time, it feels great to think that I will probably do not have any real problem at all to start solving that appears out of nowhere. Because, yes, I have things to keep working on and I have a lot of other side projects to still keep checking and still make sure they are going to happen and all of that. But it is more born, so to speak, from my own responsibilities than anything else. So I'm not that worried. Mm, One of the few things that I'm worried about is, and that is something I really wanted to say, mm, how is the schedule going to change? Because first and foremost, one of the most particular things that is going to change it in the near future, let's say, is me swapping my mm, own schedule to accommodate my necessities of not existing when it is so fucking hot outside. So that is one thing. Because mm, I said it like 100 streams ago or so. I tend to perform very badly when it is too hot. And now that it is summer, I need to kind of take care of myself to not get really, really tired. Because even if I thought it was fine, or even if I didn't really struggle that much, I still need to not get so tired because the biggest problem I have with all of that is it kind of builds up on me and it kind of destroys me. Not in a second, but rather in the whole collection of time in which I get physically exhausted. Mm, And I guess I was trying to make it still be kind of the same schedule, mostly because I don't really have a necessity for a change of my whole schedule, when in reality, mm, the schedule itself and all of that are properly put into place in a manner in which I cannot, or well, I can, and I don't even need to worry about changing my times. Because the thing I was probably going to do was, mm, well, I mean, one of the most probable changes that is true is second or the first stream of the day will, in reality, for me, become the last stream of the day because I will go and I will stream almost before going to bed, and that is a little bit after the sun rises, so that I can enjoy that whole time slot in which somehow, because the not neither the moon nor the sun are present completely in the sky, somehow it gets really cold, and because of that I can really sleep properly at that specific, so to speak, mm, opportunity. So that is why the first streams of the day are going to be a little bit earlier, probably, or not probably, more like they will be a little bit earlier, so that I can do them before really going to sleep. I'm I'm learning so far to take an even better control of myself in the sense of mm, not putting so many, so to speak, locks and so many unnecessary weights on me to make it as easy as it is possible the journey that we still have ahead. That is also something that is happening in the background because I know that people likes to say people likes to remind others, and people really likes to almost be blatant about their efforts, but I do not think I am going that well in the sense of properly resting, properly studying and all of that. I mean, compared to what I was doing before, I can assess that we are going better, even more because we have now a schedule with which I can hold myself accountable if something bad were to happen, or if not something bad, if I were to slack, let's say, because it doesn't come from me simply having some problems. I mean, if I were to have problems, I can eventually solve them, no matter what happens. So yeah. Aside from that, I also, oh, well, it isn't that also. On the other hand, or on another note, I have been properly trying to get as much physical rest as possible. Mostly because, you know, it feels great to have that. And it feels kind of not only great, but rather amazing to not need to worry about the physical state in which I am going to end up my day. Mostly because, I mean, oh, yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to all of that stuff. If we're trying to go for a good route in which we can accomplish anything at all, it is kind of necessary to properly take care of these situations, you know. So yeah, basically taking a little bit more of not responsibility, but rather accountability that ends up building something, if anything at all, you know. But well, aside from that, on a more kind of practical note, or no, on more of a ramble side, mm, I had the opportunity of getting together with some mm, friends of mine and to talk a little bit. And we ended up discussing about something that seems interesting, and that is how easy or how hard it becomes for people to really get what they want. Because they were proposing the idea of a lot of times we have problems, and a lot of times we have situations which end up making us, so to speak, mm, deviate from our real intentions. Not because we change our intentions, and because we really find in ourselves the necessity of changing our aim even more, but rather due to the fact that other, more in the moment important things end up almost forcing us to take care and to take not only care, to take mm, yeah, basically the argument was other things end up taking a higher priority role, and because of that now we need to change the aims which we have in the moment. And if these changes are big enough, we end up even losing sometimes the possibilities and the kind of windows of opportunity that present in our lives, if it means, or not if, due to it meaning that mostly not everything, or yeah, mostly everything, let's say, mm, tends to be, so to speak, covered in trial and error. And when you lose your own pace, and even more when you lose the possibility of still participating and still doing your best in the act, so to speak, of analyzing, seeing, progressing, so to speak, delving even more on researching, and overall having a very great time trying to get, so to speak, everything going. If you lose that chance, you end up not only having the possibility of getting anywhere, because it is easy or it is kind of possible for you to put your life together back if you surpass those situations which require more attention before. But if you were to see that your life is struck constantly by these kind of situations, it becomes not only imperative for you to create something that allows you to not really worry about not having as much time as you want in your hands to deal with these kind of situations, mm, without worrying about your whole other well-being side, let's say. But also, it is rather interesting to see and to analyze, because the argument was you might as well also find that some people will not even have the possibility of taking advantage of these things. And even if they didn't have that many tribulations, as they like to say, you will not really find that they can hold up. Not, as I said before, not because the difficulties and the priority changes are so big that they really squish out the life out of an individual, but rather because the individuals lack the tools to properly deal with these kind of situations. And I was trying to understand why will there be so much focus over losing and over failure when the opposite kind of also has the possibility of being true, and becoming kind of a positive message for anybody to receive. Because when you see and when you put in your conscious mind, let's say, the reality that is as much effort as you put into solving problems that appear in front of you, as many of those as you are going to solve as it is possible, it also means that sometimes you need to create, or to not to create, to find problems of such a simple degree that you can properly deal with them without even worrying about anything else. And in that sense, yeah, because you notice and because you learn out of your not only mistakes, but also those minor or not triumphs that you have over your life end up signifying and end up giving you even more chances to properly keep, so to speak, fighting back whatever it is that appears in the future. And if it doesn't simply appear, but rather if it doesn't completely only mean that you're going to have great times, you also could find that by resolving some matters once and for all, you can also start to see how other matters end up being also solved. In that line, yeah, I guess it is in a sense related to what we've done before, the concept of everything being connected, as in everything in a sense is related to any other thing, or the most obviously the relatable thing You only need to find those connections to derive from one problem to another, and to find similarities to the degree to which you can create a logical map of almost a reality in front of you. Because, and in that manner, it tries to mean when you have the whole, so to speak, foundation, and you have even more a way to keep delving into the whole world that you have in front of you, while not worrying about the consequences, due to you already know how most of the things are already going to play their roles, not only in your life, but also in those of you whose actions affect, or in those of whose actions that you do end up affecting them, let's say. That whole side also shows you, and that whole side I don't think means by itself something positive, but has more potential of being positive than to simply say, yeah, if you let things snowball, you can really get destroyed. When there is no need for such a negative thing to exist. You can have it, and you can even sometimes think it is good for you to have such levels of negativity affecting your whole self. But I do not see how you can win the race that is, or well, not the race, more like the adventure that is life, if you were to destroy the good side of it for the sake of making it a harder adventure and a more laborious one, and one that will really require attention from you, and one that will really almost obligate you to fulfill every single aspect of that ideal which you are trying to embody, and all of that. I mean, going back to the analysis with which is with which we started this with, mm, we're speaking about the possibility and even more the reality that is, do not let, if it is one of those kinds, your life be destroyed by the almost overwhelming amount of problems that you will have, an overwhelming amount of out of nowhere completely attention required problems. It is better to not let them destroy you, because the destruction of who you are is, and in a sense, almost impossible to really convey to anybody, because it really seems and it really kind of proves to be true that you need to take care of what is happening around you, and what is going to happen not only with you but also with those who are around you, if you were not to fail but not to extract the utmost quantities of your own potential. Because in that sense, it is unavoidable to offer such an almost blatantly high message that is the idea of, you might as well try to give the world the best of you, because if it didn't happen, you might as well also be robbing the world of the possibility of being such a better place that not even you yourself from right now could imagine what it is that it is going to happen in the future, thanks to what you did and thanks to what you were able to achieve in your whole life, and not for the sake of only yourself, but rather for the sake of a pursuit in something. Um, but yeah, I guess the only real problem and also kind of the only real issue is to find what it is that we want, because this is different. We were talking about this in particular with one of my familiars, and they told me, you know, that when you have a child, you should let them be what they want to be. But I was constantly thinking in the background how much of pressure I am applying on them and how much of a change I'm exerting on their nature if I give them as much love as I can. How can a human achieve anything by themselves if there are no others who kind of guide them? I guess in my mind it kind of plays like this. Because we live in a society and because we accept that we are social creatures, we need, so to speak, to have a kind of guidance. Yeah, and in that sense, because if we didn't have it, and because if we did not take into account what others said, we will end up having completely non-humanistic interests, so to speak, or completely almost unachievable goals, because we are going to be the only ones who really have them. When in reality, there is no real need for anybody to suffer so much and to struggle so much when the whole society tends to be nicer to those who speak up and those who accept that they need, in any kind of field, a hand. Almost, and that is something different almost, because there are so many reasons as to why an individual would like to help another that you can't ever think you asking not for help but rather for the good hand of another in the pursuit of a common goal, more like, yeah, a real show or a real proof of interest from the whole society in which you live in. If you are asking for those things, you would almost easily get them shown to you. And then in that same manner, the only problem is at yeah, to which point you let society take control of you, because as with any other society, we tend to really like to control those who do not seem to have a known, yeah, a will of their own, and that happens kind of not naturally due to the effect of, you know what, if you do not think you have something you wish to work for, I might as well use you for what I know I wish to work for. At the end of the day, having more helping hands on my goal will never be bad. You might as well not be the most efficient one, but I also could try to create a system in which, even if you were to fail in your actions, your failure wouldn't mean the whole destruction of my whole system or ecosystem. And I guess, in a more deeper sense, when you accept that you need to find what it is that you really want in your life, or at bare minimum, Well, not at bare minimum, kind of the opposite, in a higher sense, even in the society itself in which you reside in, so to speak. If you were to take all of those things into account, and if you were to work mm, for something that feels kind of gratifying, you will find that you need sometimes to fight against what was previously kind of established, not because it really needs to be fight back or needs to be there from the efforts, but rather as a show, yeah, as a show of real interest in making or in solving any problem that others have failed in solving, and not in a, not in a hedonistic way, one in which you say, you know, I'm doing this because nobody has done it before, and because I know I can do it better than anyone else. When in reality, it kind of needs to come and it needs to appear from a completely real interest, created from you and created from your own values. If you were to be, I think, fighting just as an act or just because you want to fight, it doesn't really get you anywhere. I don't even think. Okay, sorry, I was putting a little bit more of order in my room. Now, as I was going to say, because I don't think it really gets you anywhere, as it doesn't really show others your intentions. It only creates and it only also starts to put into process the whole magnificent efforts of others into play, even avoid the struggle itself that it is kind of implied in life of getting work done for something. Even, I guess, kind of a heavy weight is even if you know that you are not doing something or that you are not acting on anything, you also on the other side know or are at the very, very least conscious about the other reality that is if you let things not happen and if you let even more, so to speak, realities not be constructed because you did not want to put your efforts into them in those real instances, it is that it shows that you decided to partake in the advancement of those other things. And I guess, yeah, the worst thing is to say even because you decided to declare that you lost a battle in which you never really started to even fight on. It is almost as if mm, I guess the kids that we have in our interior and the particularly always existing nature of trying to ensure our own survival and, so to speak, our own well-being for the sake of being well and not in well is what decided to tell us, you know, if you were to try and if you were to get your efforts accumulated into this particular cause, you are going to not only lose things but also to find yourself trapped in the future because you were acting up against some acting up so much against an effort that collectively is more accepted. But I would guess it is better to really create and to really focus yourself on solving problems and even more on solving big situations that require you to really think about them and to really analyze and to really create solutions that are completely unique to those particular situations. As it is kind of apparent, or when I don't think it is that much apparent, but anyways, as it becomes kind of observable that those who really try to fight against their problems found ways to solve them. Those who never tried to get anywhere have only fallen deeper and deeper on the well that is the whole destruction of our own intentions, because we start to, and in that moment we start to accumulate an effort on showing ourselves that we are not capable of doing anything, because we stop doing more and more things, because we stop believing in who we are, and because we stop fighting and, so to speak, observing more the realities in which we are enveloped, rather than to really notice and to really try to solve things. Not because I think, because it appeared in my mind, not because, we are really, so to speak, dealing with problems that really become impossible to deal, but rather due to us thinking earlier than what should really be the point in which we decide to give up, that our problems, as we simply tried one solution and it failed in that exact moment, it is that we decided to stop, and to really never once again go back and to solve these particular problems. Or at those points, I would even say we do that very clear distinction of, you know what, because I tried my best and because I failed so much, even if it was literally one single time in which I failed, I might as well never try it again. And I guess the only kind of weird thing, and the only kind of negative feeling is, yeah, I don't know, maybe it is the moral responsibility that we have towards showing others that they can. Maybe it is the moral responsibility or moral interest, not moral, kind of societal interest that we should have in elevating as much as we can our individuals, for the sake of giving them as much chances as they can of fighting against these problems. I know it never kind of feels easy, and even less simple to understand how to solve them when, I guess, yeah, kind of going back to what I said myself, we never have tried so many things. So simply by having tried one type of solution, well, rightly decided that, I guess in this case, because it didn't give the results that we were expecting, you know, it therefore does not work on the goals that we have. But the whole adventure of that is not one in which we can simply delve and not expect turbulences, let's say, when in reality, as complex as we are, we can have so many goals and we can have so many consistently reoccurring good events happening in our lives that, um, Yeah, those who find and those who extract from those already, as I said before, already existing and already mm, looping, let's say, already looping patterns in their lives will get further than anyone else. And not because they are doing better, but because they chose to not do worse. And that is simply different and also simply more competent than to decide to overexert your own strengths, yeah, your strengths, your favorable qualities, and your whole self in the pursuit and even more in the desire of achieving anything at all. Because if you were as an individual to constantly remind yourself of your own incapabilities, you will only be undermining your efforts as you make more and more apparent to you what your actual problems are. Not because you don't understand them, but rather, what can. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe that is kind of a way to say it, I think. Rather, because you don't understand them, and because you think that in your own consideredness, the ways in which you see your problems as such an impossible thing to solve end up making them even bigger than what they end up really being. And okay, give me a second, give me a second because I finished my apple, but I need to go and throw the apple heart. So we're going to do that. We're going to wait for a minute or so while I go and throw this shit into the garbage can, and after that we're back because it seems interesting what I am saying, at least to me. So yeah, transition and let me reanimate myself. People, we're going to do something amazing, and that is I'm going to lie over because I don't know what to do, but I'm physically there, so I can stay up. So yeah, I hope nothing appears on chat. Yes, I am not going to be able to see it, so thank you for not writing in chat for me. It's, my brother, I think it kind of had an interesting side to it, and I saw it almost as something that has some potential from the side of, mm, we never know and we never see. And well, I don't think in the sense of being negative, but rather in the manner of trying to analyze and trying to conceptualize even more how much of a world we are surrounded in, that when we decide to make our problems bigger than what they really are, we destroy our own intentions and even more our own efforts for anything. Mm, because yeah, the question that appeared in my mind was, you can always try to kind of justify your actions behind the veil of you were not given the tools, in the sense of, you have the possibility of asking for more, and you have also the possibility of, or well, I think obviously it doesn't come from you, but rather from the whole society in which you live in, that is constantly reminding you of your capability of asking for as much help as you want. When I think, I don't know, at least here, if you were to try it and if you were to do your best to almost create for others that sense of, yeah, this person likes to ask for help, it also becomes I don't know if it is a constant or not. It simply becomes something that happens, that you stop having so many chances of kind of doing those things which you enjoy. Not because you do not enjoy them, but rather because others start to kind of try to avoid it. And I don't think it happens or it is born from the side of probably you do something bad, but rather because in the sense of those who ask for help, if we notice that you're kind of um, using more than what we expected, such a tool as that, which kind of gives you the chance of get as much help as you can in your problems, or in those specific situations in which you feel you need to ask for help. If you are doing it more than what is kind of normal, we start to see you in a bad light. And I think I want to say that the reason might be because others do not really use them, and because they do not do that, they think it is bad for you to do it. When in reality, okay, kind of the same line of how is it called, of being kind of a man and all of that. You never really have the responsibility of, so to speak, not asking anybody for help. Rather, you can do whatever you want. You only need to not make the work of others meaningless. So, if you ask for help, you need to accept that you need to let others help you. If you ask for an advice, you need others advise you. If you ask for X, you need others do X plus 1, let's say. So, you shouldn't really do things that are harmful to others. But if you are doing, let's say, those parts which you consider or which you might as well try to see as much as you can in a good light, and others start to get in those particular moments angry, you either have the possibility of showing them why is it important to do that, or at the very, very, very least, not deter other people from doing whatever they want. Because I think you can also kind of wave the flag and wave even more the whole. I don't know if it is still kind of conceptually a flag, but rather the conceptual idea of, you know, you're performing incorrectly and you're not properly doing those things which you need to take care of, and you blah blah blah. You rather only really need, and you rather only really have an interest in solving and even more kind of making sense out of those parts that you already have integrated to your life. But the rest doesn't really matter, you know? If other people get angry at you for doing those things, as we said before, that are not taking anything out of the life of others, you shouldn't really need to be so concerned with what anybody else has to say. You know, you can always kind of try to and hope to not be deterred from your intentions. Yet, in kind of the I don't know if it is a game, but rather the situation itself of life, no matter what you do, and I think that is kind of the correct way to say it, to see it. No matter what you do, and no matter how hard you try, you will still find people whose desires are to get your intentions destroyed and to get your objectives not fulfilled. Therefore, if you were to give in, and if you were even more to not accept and to not, so to speak, let others interfere with you without you being interfered with, let's say, kind of, yeah, not destroy those who are going to get angry no matter what you do, but rather to accept them as they are going to come and to help them in the search of something different. Because I think the problem isn't really born from your intentions. And I guess the actual problem before that is obviously you need to truly know that the thing which you are going for is not something that others are trying to deter because it is harmful, but rather you need to be aware, or you need to at the very least try your best to notice and to know if your efforts are there and are, so to speak, trying to make anything or any sense at all. Because they are, so to speak, the good ones, or those who are trying to solve a problem. And I guess if we kind of trace back to what I said, a good way to do it is to ask the society in which you live in and to assess with your whole world, so to speak, that you are trying to solve and you are trying to get these things done, you know? When, yeah, just by accepting that and just by starting to work on those things, you also start to show others your interest in solving them. And you also start to kind of give always the possibility to anybody who wants to stop you. And you need to never get kind of destroyed because people will always have a desire to stop those who they do not comprehend. And the most important part, I think, is you need to develop also the capacity of explaining whatever it is that you're trying to go for in such a clear manner that no matter who you have in front of you, you will do it properly. So yeah, I guess the adventure itself is so incredibly large, and the adventure also of life is so incredibly crazy that you never know who your real efforts are really going to get into motion, even less whole collection, let's say, of things that happen and also of things that end up being born from that are going to affect anything outside of the main goal, because you usually have a goal with what you're trying to do, don't you? Your efforts have a sense, don't they? And if you were to not really pay attention to those things, you will probably get, I don't think lost, but rather surprised at what end up being the real, so to speak, consequences of your actions if you're trying to do something that is good. Because it also is sad to notice that when you do, or when I don't think sad, I think rather, in a sense, almost even cool to see that when you do bad things also happen to you. And when you do bad things, you can't get good things happening for you, in a sense. And it does not simply become a reality simply because karma, or because, oh yeah, loss of attraction, my friend, and blah blah blah. But rather, it comes to fruition as a whole collection of things that ended up tilting your life towards those catastrophic results. And I guess the constant battle of not doing, so to speak, bad things, even when nobody else is going to notice them, is even more of a tiring one when you yourself can't really fathom how much of an impact they are going to have on you, or how much, not in the actual moment in which you feel kind of detached from your objective, but rather in the whole collection of, so to speak, efforts that you ended up kind of killing because you decided to hear one of those tiny voices that appears and kind of contradicts your whole persona. Mm, Instead of asking why out of nowhere you had an idea like that, why out of nowhere you really thought to yourself, you know what, this is meaningless. And instead of really taking, I don't think it is proper to say proper, obviously, but rather than that, I will really find any other name for it. So let's simply go with the proper way to deal with those kind of mm, unbeneficial ideas is to accept that you need to face them and you need to not let them take a root into you. As Yeah, because as they grow stronger and stronger, you do not become weaker, but rather you are become bitter. And the difference in those terms is what really should preoccupy everybody. Not not because they by themselves are really something good or something bad, but rather because you notice that when your efforts get wasted and when your interests, so to speak, end up losing their shape, you as a human feel less and less capable, and you as a human feel even more less and less determined to do anything at all. And when the whole collection, or not whole collection in a playful manner, but rather the array of things which ended up giving you a sense of life get more and more destroyed, sometimes even getting up from bed feels like one of the biggest challenges. Not because physically it really is hard, or because you feel really nauseous, or because you really had such a painful experience that you can't even move your body, or not because you were, if you were to get up, something so incredibly bad were to happen to you. No, it's simply because sometimes the desire to not get up from bed and the interest in seeing how down you can go almost is what keeps you going even more farther into the sad side of life. And yeah, I guess the question is always how you can prove others that they can do it, and how you can prove and to give even more hope to others because you want them to do it, not simply as we said before, as something that is born from the desire of saying, yeah, I saved this X amount of people, or I am doing this because I want to have this amount of money thanks to it, because I did a market analysis and I saw that this was probably the most beneficial thing for all of us. No, 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 no. You do it with the sole intention, and you do it with the sole idea of how much of a good I can do without really worrying about it, and without really, so to speak, feeling like it was a painful, or well, I don't know if it is a painful, but rather harmful experience. In just, I don't know, I think it only needs to be given a chance, and it only needs to be something that happens and something that is born from you, and nothing else should really matter. Nothing else should really have that connotation of the whole sad part. Because yeah, you can always have it, but why would you choose to deter and even more to stop yourself from getting anywhere when no physical real thing is stopping you aside from yourself? And I will never I don't know, I was going to say recover, I guess. uh, it might as well have come from the idea of it still feels like a big blow, but it really isn't that bad, you know. I will never completely see as a reasonable thing to choose and not, so to speak, pay attention to what it is that I am getting out of my actions, and even less to not pay attention to what it is that I am obtaining from putting my efforts into a collective, so to speak, goal. As it becomes more and more apparent, let's say, that not every single time, and kind of the opposite, almost never, things are really going as bad as we make them be. Mm, yeah, because I think, okay, the only problem, the only obvious thing that needs to be changed is obviously we're not talking about people who is delusional, you know. You shouldn't also be delusional. You should have, I think, positivistic views on life because it becomes kind of apparent that the more you desire to see things in a good light, the more of a constant good light you live in, let's say, as you cultivate in yourself, as we said before, the capacity of seeing them, and even more the capacity of integrating them into not only your discourse, but also into your routine as something that gives you a well-being that no other thing could really give you. Not simply because, you know, it happened like that, but rather because it was so important and so utterly enjoyable that you yourself felt like it in that exact moment deserved to be the most, so to speak, beneficial part of this process, and deserved to be even more the focus for which you kept going. But well, I don't really know. I I want to say that I'm sleepy. I even said before that we are streaming from the potato web because I am fucking sleepy. I even thought I was going to get sleepy. I even think I got sleepier than before because I think I ended up collecting a little bit of anxiousness after streaming for, yeah, after not streaming for so long. I thought this was going to be a complete failure, so to speak. So when I saw that we were doing perfect after the first minutes in which we had some lag, after I saw that, I felt like I really decompressed. So yeah, I'm sleepy. I don't think it is that I don't think we can keep going, but rather I fear falling asleep in the middle of the stream. Waking up to, I don't know, like I don't know, something. Waking up to something that I would rather not wake up to. So yeah, uh, I don't know if I can add really anything at all. I, I might as well sadly have to give this a closure. Probably because I think, or well, not because I think, because as I said before, I notice it on myself. Uh, I can't keep going. So yeah, this is it. This is the end of the line right now. This is sadly where it all ends. At least for today. I mean, we still have a lot of things to keep going forward, to keep creating in the future. Right now, it is only that we are stopping because I do not want to compromise the quality of this. So yeah, it is sad to see that we lost the chance of. Well, I mean, it isn't really sad. In that sense, I think about it as if I had to really put myself into creating it, I will really feel sadder. Probably because I really failed to commit to it, but it was born from such a whimsical idea that even if I went and tried to get in particular something to watch, and failing to watch it doesn't really feel that much of a problem. So yeah, I don't know. Now, for real, yeah, I will get up, I will see somebody who can read, and we're going to give this a closure for real. Because yeah, Potato is fucking sleeping on the road. So let me get up. Shut up. Let me see. I need to sit down in my chair. There it is. There we are. Let me see. I mean, it was very, very beautiful still. I don't know if I said something in particular or not. Anything at all. My mind literally was going on, and I don't even know how is it that I didn't fall asleep while streaming. So yeah, my consciousness is fading basically. Yeah, a beautiful thing to have happening on me. But well, I mean, why would we worry about such a beautiful event when we can enjoy it as much as we can? Wow. So yeah, let me see. As always, also, while I am doing all of this, it is a pleasure to be here. It is a completely enjoyable experience to keep working. What? Is this? Wait. This is clickbait. Wait. I was. What the fuck? This is. Yeah, this is clickbait, my brother, right? Uh, what? I got distracted. I am amazing. Sorry. I failed to do the proper finishing part of this. Sorry. Now for real. Um, it is time for me to leave. Yeah. I can't keep going anymore. I am fucking asleep. I am falling. I am fucking falling asleep. Yeah. This is so sad. But well, as I said before, as always, it is a pleasure to be here. It is good to have these things going on, but we have to say yeah, end end right now. Give this a closure because we cannot keep going anymore. That's it. The brain ran out of brain juice for this to keep happening. So yeah, people, there it is. We're riding. What is it? Tandonia, who is doing what? They are doing. They are watching Yu-Gi-Oh! The anime. So yeah, if you never watched that anime or if you wanted to watch it, there you have it. From my side, I can only say time to sleep because I need to sleep. So yeah, we also want to have a movie night. I fucking trolled. I am a master troll. Even I will consider myself one of those. So yeah. Anyways, it was beautiful. As always, thanks for everything. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for watching the world. Thanks for being here. Thanks for every single thing. It was a pleasure. We will find each other in the future when the opportunity is presented for us to congregate into or because of any particular excuse. Now, rain and goodbye. Take care. Please rest well. Rain. Bye 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 bye.